What is going on, Bulls Nation? So, Phoenix Suns is eliminated, and rumors are circulating that the Bulls are interested in Deandre Ayton. The question is, should they be? We'll talk about that right after this.
Get the lowdown on one of the most iconic basketball teams in the world. You're listening to Chicago Bulls
All
Nation.
right, Bulls Nation. So, we got that reports now that Deandre Ayton might have played his last game as a Phoenix Sun. And, it might be true. I think it's true with him and Chris Paul. They severely lack depth. If you watch the Western Conference Finals, he looks disinterested. He didn't even play in Game 6, and they got blown out. This is the second time in an elimination game that Phoenix has been blown out, and this is with Kevin Durant. And also with Devin Booker coming off that terrific game. So changes has to be made, and you're not going to trade Durant. You're not going to trade Devin Booker. And the Phoenix Suns doesn't have a lot of assets. They traded away first round picks to acquire Kevin Durant, and this is not what they're expecting. I'm sorry, it's not the Western Conference Finals. They didn't even make it there. They're in the second round. With all the talent and Hall of Famers that they have, this is unacceptable on all levels. However, their biggest trade asset, I would say, maybe not the biggest trade asset, but the only trade asset that they have is DeAndre Ayton, because he's still a first round pick, pretty young, a lot of upside, but there's a lot of question mark in regards to his, basketball passion. He just looks disinterested out there. He looks like his basketball IQ is not there. His effort is not there for the most part. So, should the Bulls be interested in DeAndre Ayton? The short answer would be yes. Why not, right? We don't have a lot of young prospects on this team. We have aging prospects. But the last thing that the Bulls want is another player that's passive, kind of weak-minded, really. And that is DeAndre Ayton. And not into attitudes term, because for all accounts, it looks like DeAndre Ayton has some attitude problem. And I don't know, it's just because he's playing for the Phoenix Suns, and that could be a factor as well. I mean, it's widely known that Chris Paul is hard to play with. There were reports on his former teams that he's very hard to get along with. And it looks like Devin Booker, it feels like the same. You can see them yelling at DeAndre Ayton on the sidelines, asking him not to, commit or try to swipe at the ball and all that stuff. I don't know if this is a case of he needs a change of scenery, but you can't deny that he does have the physical tools and the talent to become one of, the better big men in the league. The question is he going to put that together, or is he going to go into another team and do the exact same thing, pout and complain and do little effort as he gives to the Phoenix Suns? That is a question mark. But in the Bulls' defense, they can afford to have those question marks, because it's not like we're a contending team. We need assets. And he's a big asset if you put around the good culture around him. And Billy Donovan seems like the coach that he would allow him to flourish like that. Now, with that being said, we don't have the package to acquire DeAndre Ayton. We don't. Phoenix, we have nothing that Phoenix would want. I guess Vucevic would be an option, but it doesn't solve any Phoenix's problems. Yes, he could stretch the floor more than Ayton, but now they're gonna trade off his, quote unquote rim protection for Vooch lack off there. He's gonna be next to Kevin Durant, which is a good defender in his own rights, but now they have to really shore up the other parts of his defense. I'm assuming that if we acquire DeAndre using Vooch, we're gonna have to include Alex Caruso. And I'm not okay with that. With this, at this juncture, there's so many question marks in regards to DeAndre Ayton that Caruso's value is at all-time high right now, with him being a all-defensive selection, that you put him out there. And yeah, no. There's a lot of risk in acquiring Ayton. If things doesn't pan out, we're going to pay the remaining of his contract, which is going to be untradeable if, and that is a big if he continues this trend of not caring about basketball. I wanted a defensive big, a guy that can rim protect, but I don't even know if that's him. We saw in this last series that, I mean, granting he was going up against Jokic, but still, minimum effort that we saw from Ayton there. So I don't necessarily know if I want to give up, like legit assets to acquire him. Now, if it means it's Vooch, maybe Kobe White, and the Portland pick, perhaps, I might look into that route. But I think AC right now is super valuable to any team, not just for the Bulls, that you can get something good in return for him. If not, I really want to keep AC, to be quite honest with you. His contract is so good that you just need to keep the guy. With Ayton, if things just work out, this is gonna be a disaster. Can you imagine having Ayton and Patrick Williams as your front court? That is the most passive front court lineup that you have. Let's say we acquire him. Now he's going to be our starting center with Patrick Williams at the power forward. We got Debo at small forward. Man, they won't take a shot. Imagine we can't score with Vucevic before. What's going to happen with Ayton? But I don't know. Maybe it'll work. But like I said, I'm not willing to give up, like legit assets just to acquire Ayton. Now he does have a teammate that interests me, which is in Chris Paul, and I will tell you why, and you guys might discover that idea, but I'm going to tell you why in the next video, why I think Chris Paul would be the best point guard, or at least best point guard option for the Bulls right now. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel if you're a Bulls fan. I would really appreciate that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.